The only once-a-day treatment proven to regrow new hairs up to 48% thicker. Revive your Bubba and save $10.
When size matters, check out my Maggie.
Comes in 65-inch, 72, 80, or 90. I said 90, Bob.
Oh shit. Mom better not yell at me. Anyways, sorry, I got a mustache of soda. I hate when I drink soda and always, like, you know, gets over here and shit. I have to wipe it off. But anyways, yeah. How are you guys doing? It is February 8th, 2016. Not really gonna do a rant, but, I'm just gonna talk or whatever. Like, in this video, I'm gonna talk about reasons why I don't fucking drive and don't ever plan on driving. Why I don't just, I don't wanna drive. Now I did a couple stupid drivers on the road rant back in 2014. I did 2 parts. Yeah, I did 2 parts of it. And, there are a lot of stupid drivers on the road, which is one of the reasons why I don't want to drive. It causes a lot of stress and shit. Driving, there are a lot of stupid drivers on the road or whatever. They cause a lot of stress. They get me so angry. They can cause me to get road rage and shit. I don't know. It's just stressful and shit, I don't want to deal with stress. Fuck stress. And that shit. But yeah. I'm 19 years old. I already got my fucking, I got my permit back in my sophomore year. In my sophomore year, my first semester of my sophomore year, I took, it was the first quarter of first semester of my sophomore year. I took driver's ed and shit. I got my permit. I did get my permit. But it took me 3 fucking tries. You got 3 tries on the permit test. If you fail the first time, you get 2 other chances. If you fail the second time, you get 1 more chance. Majority of the people passed, or majority of people didn't pass the first time. Some people passed the first time. But everybody who failed the first time did pass the second time except for me. I was the only one who had to have a 3rd try. Which I did pass on the 3rd try, and it was kind of embarrassing and shit. It was embarrassing being the only one who still failed after the 2nd try. But luckily I passed after the fucking 2nd try. On the 3rd try, luckily, or else I would have failed the class or whatever. But I did get my permit and shit, and I never took any driving lessons and shit. And my permit expired and shit, and my dad really wants to put me in fucking driving school and shit, and, I don't want to fucking drive. I just, okay, first of all, I don't want to go to fucking driving school to renew my permit, and then I'm gonna have to take the permit test. I fucking hate taking tests. I hate taking tests, because, first of all, you have to fucking study and shit. I don't want to study. I hate studying. In order to get a lot of things on the test right, you have to study it and remember it. And you have to study over and over again. And I have a hard time getting things in my head, which is why I'm not good at tests. Ah! Fuck, I failed at burping. I tried to burp, but I failed. Sorry. But yeah. Ah! Finally, I burped. But, yeah. I don't like taking tests and shit. Fuck tests. And I'm also gonna, like, sit in a classroom for, like, an hour. That's what my dad told me what they do in driving school. And just, that's school all over again. Fuck school. School sucks. But, yeah, that's one reason. Another reason, fucking let me take this out. My fucking computer is officially charged. I don't want to keep this charger in or else it'll fuck up the battery and the charger. But, another reason, there's so many rules on the road and shit. There's so many fucking rules on the road and shit, And I'm scared that I'm gonna fuck up on one, and then a cop is gonna see me and pull me over, you know? And some people, you know, they just do stupid things on the road. They think they don't see a cop or whatever. They think they don't see a cop. But they see you. They're there, and they see you, and then they chase after you. They catch you and shit. I mean, I know not. I don't think I'll speed and shit. I know not to speed or fucking, you know, cut cars off or whatever. I wouldn't do that or whatever. Or what else? I wouldn't run red lights. I know not to do those, but you know, there might be rules and shit that, you know, I might forget about. I forgot that, you know, were a rule, and then I, you know, disobeyed it, and all of a sudden a cop sees me and I'll see fucking red and blue lights behind me, and that means there's a cop, and then I'm gonna get pulled over, and I'm scared of cops. I don't like fucking, you know, getting in trouble by cops and shit, you know? I don't like getting in trouble by cops. And yet, you know, they're gonna give me a ticket and shit. Oh, you were driving 3 miles over the speed limit or whatever. I mean, even though I know not to drive over the speed limit, I think I'll be good at that, but... Or you disobeyed this rule. You didn't do this or you did this when you're not supposed to do that, you know? And then I'll get a ticket, and then I'm gonna have to go to court and sit in front of a judge like Judge Judy. Yeah, you know, and I don't want to go to fucking court and shit. I don't fucking want to go to court. It's a waste of time. You know, fuck court. It's stupid, and the judge could possibly be an asshole and shit, and I hate mean people. You know, I hate, like, getting yelled at or rude people, and that's how a lot of judges are and shit. Well, maybe not all of them, but you know what I mean. I don't want to deal with that. Fuck judges. Especially the asshole judges and shit, you know? Yeah. I don't want to deal with that shit. Fuck that. Another reason is fucking getting into an accident and shit, you know? Everybody gets into accidents. At least one accident in their fucking life if you drive. You know... It might be your fault or might not be your fault. Everybody gets into an accident and shit, you know? Okay, let's just say, you know, maybe you might accidentally fuck up or whatever. You might accidentally crash into a car or whatever. Or, I don't know, maybe something might be wrong with your brakes. It might not be your fault, but it might be your brakes' fault and shit, you know? And then you accidentally crash into a car. When you try stopping, it doesn't work that well, and you crash into a car, you know? And then you dent their car and shit, and then, when you get into an accident, obviously the cop comes, and it obviously gives you a ticket or whatever, it takes your license away, and... I don't know, and again, I don't like getting in trouble by cops and shit, and it might fucking... Maybe try to find out why I crashed. It might make me do an alcohol test or a drug test, even though I will never fucking drink and drive or fucking do drugs and shit. I'll never do that shit. But, you know, they're just gonna make me take the test anyway, or I don't know. And then, you know, if the person's not injured, I mean, I'm obviously probably still gonna have to go to court and shit. And, or I don't know. Or let's just say I injure the person or whatever, or kill them. Let's just say I injure them first. First I just injure them. You know, if I injure them, they're gonna like get a broken leg or whatever. Or, you know, and then they're gonna go to court and then, you know, they're gonna sue me and shit, you know? I don't wanna get sued. You know? Fuck that. I don't wanna get sued. Or maybe they won't sue me, but the judge might make me take driving classes and shit, you know? I remember my mom, she got into an accident once. This was back, I mentioned this in my stupid driver's rant. Part 1, I believe, the one I made in 2014. My mom, she got into an accident in 2008, October of 2008, with the motorcycle. Now, it wasn't even her fault. The motorcycle, she was looking where she was going. The motorcycle didn't. he didn't think there was a car next to him, so he decided to turn into the next lane and then crashed into my mom, and then he fell down and he got hurt and shit. And then he tried suing my mom in court, and then she didn't get sued, but she took driving classes and shit, you know? The judge made her take driving classes for a couple days, you know? Fuck that. It wasn't even her fault, but she got the punishment, you know? Fuck that. I don't want to deal with that. Yeah. I don't want to go to driving school, even though, you know? Especially if it's something that's, like, not my fault, you know? I don't want to go to school, driving school for a couple days. Fuck that. You know? Or, you know, let's just say you kill somebody and shit. Let's just say you kill somebody. You kill somebody. That will not be a good feeling, realizing you killed somebody. Oh my god. I can't imagine how bad that feeling is, even if it isn't your fault. But, you know, let's just say I kill somebody, you know, I'm afraid, you know, I might go to prison for life, for murder and shit, you know? I don't want to go to prison. Fuck that. I mean, if it's not your fault, I don't know if you'll go to prison if it isn't your fault. But if it is, I don't know. Maybe if it was an accident or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to go to, I'm scared I might go to prison and shit. You know, I don't want to go there. And, you know, getting in an accident, you know, it'll just be a really scary moment. If, you know, like, it'll just be really fucking scary, you know? It'll be a really scary moment. I'll have a fucking panic attack. You know, if I accidentally crash into something, I'll have a bad panic attack that I might have killed somebody. I'll be like, you know, fuck, I'll have a panic attack and shit. And I might have a heart attack and shit. I'm scared that I, you know, maybe would go to jail and shit, you know? But yeah, I don't want to deal with that shit. Or, you know, let's just say a car crashes into me. Let's just say it's their fault. They're the one who crashed into me and shit. You know, the good thing is it won't be my fault. Or maybe it will. Maybe it will be my fault. Maybe it depends how I drive. And maybe I stop all of a sudden. And then I make a car crash into me. But, you know, let's just say it's not my fault. Maybe it's the person behind me's fault or whatever. Maybe I stopped or whatever, and some idiot car is just like acting like a maniac on the road, and it, you know, and it crashes into me and shit. You know, I may not have time to duck out of the way and shit. You can't always duck out of the way and shit, you know. Hell, because there might be other cars in the way and I'll crash into them and shit, you know, by getting out of the way of this idiot, you know. And they crash into me and shit. The good thing is I'm not in trouble and shit. But I'm still gonna have to stop and shit. And let's just say I'm hurt. Let's just say I get injured and shit. You know, I get hurt and shit. And then, you know, if I get hurt, then I'm gonna have to go in the fucking ambulance and shit, you know? Fucking, the ambulance come. You hear the sirens, like... You know, when the ambulance comes and shit, you know, I don't want to go in an ambulance and shit, okay, you know, first of all, it's going to be embarrassing, like, I get into an accident, let's just say, maybe I fall out of my car and I'm laying on the road all injured or whatever, and everybody sees me and shit, and then I have to go in the stretcher. They either see me on the ground or they see me on the stretcher and shit, you know, that's embarrassing and shit. That'll be embarrassing. Not only I'll be in pain, but I'll be embarrassed and shit, you know, because everybody on the road and shit, first of all, when you get into an accident, it holds everybody up. You know, all the cars are stopped or whatever, and they see somebody, they'll see me injured, they'll see me on the ground or in the stretcher injured, it'll be embarrassing, or, you know, it'll just be really slow, because people like to fucking, you know, when there's an accident, people who are driving, they like to see what's going on and shit, and they'll see me on the stretcher and shit, going in the ambulance and shit, you know, that's embarrassing. That'll be embarrassing, you know. And, you know, I don't want to go in an ambulance and go to the hospital. And, you know, the ambulance that drives so fucking fast and shit, that'll be fucking scary. You know? But, yeah, I don't want to go in an ambulance and shit. And, hell, I might not... I'll get killed and shit. I can get killed and shit, you know? I won't be embarrassed because I'll be dead and shit, but, you know? I don't want to get my life taken over a stupid driver and shit, you know? Or maybe I will survive. I won't die, I'll survive and shit. But I might lose a leg or an arm or whatever. And I'm gonna have to use, like, I don't know. I don't know. I might lose a leg or whatever, or an arm, or maybe I'll fucking end up crippled and shit, like, you know, like the disabled people or whatever. Like, I might be in a wheelchair. I might end up having to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life and shit. You know, I'm gonna end up crippled and shit like fucking this. Hello, my name is Steve. You know, like fucking... You have to press a button to talk or whatever. Because you're crippled and shit. You can't talk. You lost your fucking voice. I don't know. Like fucking Stephen Hawking and shit. I might end up like Stephen Hawking and shit, you know? Like this. You know, I don't want to end up like that. You know, I don't want to go in an ambulance. Again, it's embarrassing when you get into an accident and you're the one hurt. Obviously, you know... Everyone's gonna see you, and then they're gonna see you in the ambulance. It's embarrassing. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Another reason, you know, I don't want to get honked at. You know, everybody gets honked at, even if they're a good driver. There's some stupid drivers or whatever who honk at you, like... You're not really supposed to go, but a stupid driver behind... Like, there's a red light... You know, you're not supposed to, like, turn or whatever, but somebody thinks you can turn and they'll honk at you. Fuck, I don't like being honked at. Or, I don't know, maybe I will accidentally do something wrong and I'll get fucking honked at. Beep! Fuck, I don't want to get honked at. That pisses me off. I hate getting honked at. When that happens, I'd fucking get a bad case of road rage or whatever. I'd fucking stick my middle finger up at the person. It might cause a fight or whatever. I don't know. It'll just cause road rage. I don't know. I think I'd probably have a bad case of road rage. Because when I get angry, I get pretty cuckoo. And, you know, I might end up hurting someone else, or, you know, crashing and hurting somebody from road rage or whatever. I'd have a really bad case of road rage. Hell, I can get in trouble for that, you know? But yeah, it's another reason. But, and another reason, you know, when you drive, you have to fucking pay for gas or whatever. You have to keep on going to the gas station and paying for gas. Yeah, you know, you're gonna have to fucking go to the gas station. You gotta keep going to the gas station and getting gas at like fucking like BP, Shell, Speedway, Clark, Citgo, Marathon, Golo, Mobil, Thornton's, Phillips 66. Any fucking gas station. Any fucking gas station you go to. You have to go to a gas station and fucking... You have to get gas and shit in your car, like... In a demo, like, well, let's just say you're driving. I don't know if you can see me, like, oh shit, I'm running out of gas. I need to get gas. Oh, here's Speedway. Turn into the gas station. You have to go to the gas pump. Fucking, you gotta, like, pay. Some people pay at the gas pump, or some people go inside. And then you take the gas pump out, like, and then put it in that stupid hole in your car where the gas goes. I don't know, you gotta keep doing that and see until it's like full or whatever. I don't know. And put it back or whatever and then drive away. I don't know. Yeah, you gotta keep on getting gas and shit. That'll be a pain in the ass, you know? And, you know, I'm afraid that I might forget to put gas in my car and then, you know, I'll run out of gas while I'm driving. You know? Sometimes I might, you know, I might not pay attention to how much gas I have left in my car. I might forget to get gas and not realize that there's no more gas left in my car, that I'm running out of gas. I don't go to the gas station. I run out of gas and I'm like sitting in the road, and then I have to fucking get help or whatever. And then I might be holding up traffic and cars will honk at me. Fuck that shit. And gas could be expensive too, you know, like not all the time. Sometimes it could be cheap, but sometimes it could be expensive too. Like, you know, you drive up to the gas station, you see on the sign, and it says it's like $5.39 a gallon and shit. You know, what the fuck? That's expensive and shit. You know, what the fuck? You know, and sometimes when it is cheap and shit, you know, they raise the prices and shit. Like one day you go to the gas station, it's like $1.29 a gallon for gas and shit. You know, it's cheap. But then later on it raises. It's like $1.29, raises from $1.29 to $2.40. Then later on it raises from $2.40 to $3.60. Later on it raises from $3.60 to $4.80, and then it raises from $4.80 to $5.39, you know? And it keeps on going up. The prices keep going up and up and up, you know? What the fuck? You know? Guys, pisses people off. I hate when fucking prices raise and shit. You know, I did a rant about that like a couple years ago about, you know, when prices raise, like when stores raise prices and shit. Fuck that shit, you know? You know, when you don't drive, you know, you don't gotta worry about going to the gas station and getting gas and shit. You know, you save money, you know? When you drive, you have to pay for gas. Gas isn't free. Another reason, you know, I'm also maybe scared that, you know, maybe my car will break down. I'm like driving or whatever, and all of a sudden something's wrong with my car without a warning. My car breaks down in the middle of the road, and then, you know, I end up holding up traffic and shit. I end up holding up traffic, and then everyone starts honking at me. Beep! You know, and that'll piss me off, and then everyone's staring at me. It's embarrassing. You know, everybody will be staring at... I'm the one holding up traffic. It'll be embarrassing, and, you know, that'll suck and shit. And then I'm gonna end up having to fucking, you know, have to get my car repaired or whatever. See what's wrong with my car. I have to, like, go to Midas or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go there and get my, you know, car fixed or whatever, you know, and that'll be a pain in the ass and shit. Getting, you know, having to get my car fixed, and then, you know, and it's also expensive getting your car fixed too. It's also expensive to get your car fixed, you know? Fuck that shit. And again, you know, when my car breaks down, I'm on the street, car breaks down without a warning, and, you know, I'm holding up traffic, everyone honks at me, and everyone's staring at me, and it is embarrassing. I'm gonna have to fucking, like, call, like, for help or whatever. A tow truck will probably come to, you know, get me off the road and shit, and I don't know, you know? Fuck that. Another reason why I don't want to drive, you know, when you drive, you have to pay insurance or whatever. Paying insurance, fucking car insurance, you know? Fuck car insurance. I saw it's like $100 or whatever a week or whatever. Hang on just a second. No, I'm not gonna. Hang on. Sorry. Costs like, a month, not a week, a month. $130 a month or whatever, you know? That's expensive. You know, I don't want to pay. You could save so much, you know, if you don't drive, you know, because you don't have to pay for gas or insurance or whatever. And if you get into an accident, your insurance rate goes up, you know? And then, you know, everybody, when they drive, everybody gets into an accident or actually fucks up, like maybe gets a speeding ticket or does something wrong or whatever, you know? And your insurance rate goes up, and again you go to court and have to sit in front of a judge, get your license taken away. Fuck that, I don't want to deal with that. It'll be a lot of stress, and I also have bad anxiety issues. Yeah, I deal with bad anxiety. I have anxiety and it fucking sucks, but you know, I'd rather be fucking safe than, you know, be in danger or whatever. Driving is dangerous. You know, even if you're doing the right thing, there are a lot of stupid drivers. You may not, it may be hard to get out of their way, and they might fucking, you know, crash into you and hurt you or whatever. I don't know. I'd rather just fucking walk or take the bus or whatever. If I want to go somewhere really far away, I'd rather just fucking, you know, take the bus. It may... Hang on. Fuck. Hang on. I think it says $275 to pay for the bus or whatever. I don't know. It's not really that expensive or whatever. You know? But, I mean, I wouldn't take a cab. Cabs are fucking expensive and shit. Hate taking a cab. The last time I drove a cab or whatever, me and my mom were going to my fucking aunt's house or whatever for Christmas of a couple years ago. And we had to take a cab and shit, and I saw my mom pay a $20 bill. That's expensive and shit. I think the bus, like the Pace bus or the CTA or Metro, I don't know. I think it's cheaper, but that's if I want to go somewhere far away, and or everywhere else like close or whatever, I'd probably just walk to. I like walking. I don't mind walking either, you know? I don't mind walking, you know? I just don't want to drive and shit for all those reasons. I'm not saying I won't drive. I mean, maybe I will. Maybe I'll face my fears and, you know, try to, you know, get my license and drive. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I will. But, I mean, I don't want to, but maybe I'll just face my fears. I don't know. I just don't want to. It's just too dangerous and too much responsibility to drive, you know? I think I covered everything. I think there might be more, but I can't think of any more. But I covered, like, the main reasons. But yeah, this is my video. If you agree with me, if you don't want to drive either, if you're one of those people who doesn't drive and, you know, takes the buses or whatever, I don't know, comment down below. Why don't you drive? What's your reasons? I don't know. Why don't you want to drive? If, you know... Yeah, it's my video, so till next time, it's your boy Steve. See you later, goodbye, and yeah, goodbye.